A champion is bred from hard times, scarred mind standing on the ledge. The squad grind all time, victory in spite of opposition. Welcome to competition. You pick a side, I pick a side, they pick a side. Take a knee against abuse, they rather you die. Pushing through dark tunnels, trying to shed light. The fight is on the moment we enter the game of life. Get it right before the whole thing gone dead. Let's go ahead and take it there. Meet me on the edge.
And now, some choice words. Okay, look, you may or may not be familiar with the New College of Florida. This is the tiny 700-student school that the state's governor, Ron DeSantis, has turned into a social experiment by firing a mass of allegedly left-wing professors, shutting down entire departments like gender studies, eliminating its diversity, equity, and inclusion workforce, forcing out students, and hiring flunkies to run it, including a media-addicted racist named Christopher Rufo. Wow. For people who rail against woke cancel culture, they have proved in practice what's been obvious from jump. They don't give a damn about free speech or a free exchange of ideas. They are leading a war against any discourse that is objectionable to the dark money billionaires pulling their strings. DeSantis and his trolls are quite open about what they're doing. They want this tiny school to be their Fort Sumter, an opening shot in the name of what they crave to do to education throughout Florida and the United States. They want to see ideological purges and ruined lives, all in the service of an unaccountable, right-wing, authoritarian agenda. And again, they are open about this and damn proud of how they've hollowed out the new college. Every fired professor or expelled student a pelt on their wall. But why am I talking about it here on Edge of Sports? Well, one reason is that I recently heard the Dream Defenders, a resistance organization in Florida, and a fired New College professor speak. And I was stunned that in the state where my mom was raised and my grandparents took their last breaths, a fascist thought laboratory has been born. But that's not the only reason. I'm also talking about the New College because I am frankly sickened that sports is one of the ways that DeSantis is openly and proudly forcing an ideological cleanse upon the student body. In a recent press release posted on the official Florida government's website, a press release that frankly reads like a memo to the billionaires that own him, DeSantis boasts of the success at the new college since his hostile takeover. He crows that in addition to canceling departments and destroying people's lives, which yes, he brags about, the former Yale baseball player celebrates, and I quote, the introduction of intercollegiate athletics outside of existing intramural sports by forming 6 teams and a scholarship fund for incoming athletes and recruitment of nearly 150 student athletes since launching the athletic program in the spring. Just think about that. 150 new student athletes out of just 700 students. Consider those numbers and let's be clear. This ain't about sports, and this definitely isn't about giving poor student athletes the chance at a college education. This is about the state government sending millions in taxpayer money to the new college so they can basically buy a new right-wing student body through the means of athletic scholarships to replace those they forced to leave. Remember, they are building an athletic department at a school of 700 people so they can throw free college money at athletes coming largely from Christian private schools so they can change the ideological makeup of the school and replace the students who have been driven out. This is about nothing less than taxpayers subsidizing a purge. Look, I love sports and I make no secret about that, but I also know that sports is like a fire, and fire can cook you a meal or fire can burn down your house. DeSantis is using sports to burn down that school in service of an agenda defined by bigotry. I remember when Andrew Gillum, running against DeSantis in that first governor's race in 2018, said that he didn't think DeSantis was a racist, but that the racists all thought DeSantis was a racist. That gave Ron way too much credit. In DeSantis' Florida, marching Nazis gather in front of Disney World and scare children. Seriously, that's the atmosphere he's fostered. Yes, Ron DeSantis might be an Ivy League racist with a dark money polish, but he's a racist all the same. And maybe that's why he was booed last month at a vigil after 3 people, Angela Michelle Carr, Gerald Gallion, and A.J. Laguerre Jr., were murdered by yet another Nazi in Jacksonville. Maybe that's why one of the Dream Defenders said to me that Ron DeSantis may as well have pulled the trigger. There is a movement that must be built in Florida against the DeSantis agenda. But make no mistake, whether he becomes president or not, and he won't because he has the charm of a rabid possum, what has happened at the new college is already a trial balloon for what the dark money billionaires want to do to education across the country. Athletes, I have no doubt, will play a part in the coming resistance. But part of that resistance will have to be a refusal to be pawns in their game.
Thank you so much for watching The Real News Network, where we lift up the voices, stories, and struggles that you care about most. And we need your help to keep doing this work. So please, tap your screen now, subscribe, and donate to The Real News Network. Solidarity forever.